Hello and welcome to ladies and gentlemen. Everything starts in the mind. Before you ever take action, before you ever make a decision, before your life moves in any direction, your thoughts lead the way. That's why I say the mind is the battlefield. It's where the real fight is. It's not out there in the world. It's not in your circumstances. It's right here between your ears. And if you don't learn to discipline your mind, to take control of it, then life will feel like it's constantly controlling you. Now, a lot of people go through life reacting to what someone said, reacting to a bad day, reacting to fear, doubt, disappointment. They don't realize they're giving away power every time they let their mind drift without direction. The world will always offer chaos, always offer distractions, always offer something to worry about. But you don't have to accept it. You get to choose what you focus on. That's power. That's where discipline begins. Let me tell you something. Your mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. And the difference is how you train it. If you feed it negativity, self-doubt, and fear, it'll give you back. But if you feed it faith, focus, and clarity, it starts working for you instead of against you. That's why you have to guard your mind like it's sacred, because it is. We live in a time where people are overstimulated and under-focused. Scrolling, switching, searching, swiping, constantly pulled in 100 directions. That constant noise becomes your normal, and soon your mind doesn't know how to be still. And when your mind can't be still, it can't be sharp. It can't be strong. It can't lead you forward. You're just drifting. You're in the passenger seat of your own life, hoping things go your way. But when you discipline your mind, you take the wheel. And look, this isn't about being perfect. It's not about never having a negative thought. We're human. It's going to happen. The difference is whether you let that thought settle or you call it out and redirect it. Whether you let fear talk you out of your calling or you remind yourself who you are and why you started. That's a choice. Choice. Every day, every moment, you have that choice. And if you don't make it consciously, the world will make it for you. You've got to protect your peace, protect your purpose. And that starts with protecting your mind. Because when you win there, everything else starts falling into place. Discipline your mind, and the rest will follow. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's not something only certain people have while the rest of us just try to keep up. No, discipline is a decision. A choice you make not once, but over and over again. Every single day. And some days you'll have to make that choice every hour, every minute, because your mind is constantly being pulled in 100 directions. But the more you choose it, the stronger it gets. That's the truth. People like to think motivation is what gets them where they want to go, but motivation is fleeting. You wake up one day, you feel good, the sun's out, and yeah, maybe you're ready to crush the day. But what about the next morning when you're tired, stressed, uninspired? That's when discipline steps in. That's when the real work begins. Because motivation might give you a spark, but discipline builds the fire. I'm not talking about a rigid, joyless life. I'm talking about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Well, especially when you don't feel like it. That's the gap between the life you have and the life you want. It's showing up for yourself, not just when it's easy, but when it's hard, when it's boring, when no one is clapping for you. That's where growth lives. That's where transformation happens. Discipline is keeping your promises to yourself. Think about how powerful that is. We keep our word to everyone else. We show up for our boss, our friends, our family. But how often do we break the promises we make to ourselves? I'll start tomorrow. I'll get serious next week. No, you've got to flip that. You've got to become the kind of person who treats your own goals like they matter, like they're sacred, because they are. Let me tell you, discipline isn't glamorous. It's early mornings when your bed feels too good. It's late nights when you'd rather rest, but there's still work to be done. It's saying no to comfort when comfort is calling your name. But every time you choose discipline, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. You're saying, this is who I am now. And the more votes you cast, the more your identity shifts, the more your habits stick, and the more unstoppable you become. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your discipline. So make that decision. Make it today. Make it again tomorrow. Show up. Build it. Keep going when it's not easy. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you win. Discipline is the bridge between intention and impact, so cross it. You ever hear the phrase, you are what you eat? Well, that's not just true for your body. It's true for your mind too. What you feed your mind is shaping your perspective, your energy, your focus, everything. If you want to discipline your mind, you've got to start with what you're allowing into it. Because if all you're feeding it is junk, negativity, drama, fear, comparison, then don't be surprised when you find yourself feeling anxious, scattered, or lost. Control the input, and you control the output. The world is loud. Everybody's trying to get your attention. Scroll here, click this, buy that, compare yourself to them. It's nonstop. But here's the truth. You don't have to take it all in. You don't have to consume every opinion, every headline, every highlight reel. Just because something is trending doesn't mean it's worthy of your attention. Just because someone is talking doesn't mean they deserve space in your head. Start being intentional with what you allow into your mental space. What kind of content are you listening to when you wake up in the morning? What voices are you hearing throughout your day? Are they lifting you up, pushing you forward, reminding you of who you are? Or are they making you feel small, distracted, and unworthy? The quality of your thoughts is directly connected to the quality of what you consume. Protect your peace like it's your home, because it is. We don't realize how much mental clutter we carry until we start clearing it out. Try going a day without mindlessly scrolling. Try waking up without immediately grabbing your phone. Try spending time in silence instead of filling every second with noise. You'll start to see just how much power you've been giving away without even noticing it. And once you take that power once you start choosing what goes in, everything else begins to shift. This doesn't mean you ignore the world or pretend everything's perfect. It means you filter what you allow to shape your mindset. You become the gatekeeper. Just like you wouldn't let strangers walk into your house and start rearranging your furniture. Don't let unfiltered information and toxic content walk into your mind and start rearranging your peace, your focus, your vision. You've got to build that mental boundary. That's part of discipline. Feed your mind with what fuels your growth. Books, conversations, music, podcasts. Whatever sharpens you, centers you, reminds you of your mission. When your mind is filled with purpose-driven input, you operate differently. You move with clarity. You respond instead of react. You build instead of break down. Because your mind starts giving back what you've given it. What you allow in is what you live out, so make sure it's aligned with where you're going. That voice in your head, the one that tells you you're not good enough, that you're too late, too broken, too behind, that voice is lying. But here's the thing. If you don't discipline your mind, you'll believe it. You'll follow it. You'll let it dictate your moves, your mood, your momentum. That voice, the inner critic, it doesn't just show up out of nowhere. It's built over time, shaped by experiences, fears, failures, comparisons. And if you're not intentional, it'll become the loudest thing in your life. You've got to learn to separate truth from noise. That voice will sound like you, but it's not you. It's your fear in disguise. It's every rejection, every moment of self-doubt, every limiting belief you've picked up along the way, talking back to you like it knows you, but it doesn't. You know who you are. You know what you're capable of. You just have to stop letting that voice make the decisions. We all have that critic in us. It's not about pretending it doesn't exist. It's about not giving it the mic. You don't have to silence every negative thought. You just don't have to believe everything it says. You've got to challenge it. Talk back. Remind yourself of the facts, not the fear. Because the undisciplined mind is vulnerable. It believes anything loud enough, long enough. But the disciplined mind knows how to pause, reflect, and respond, not react. Too many people let that inner critic call the shots. They let it stop them before they start. They talk themselves out of opportunities. They assume the worst and accept it as truth. But when you train your mind, when you take control of that internal dialogue, you start to shift the narrative. You stop asking, what if I fail? And you start asking, what if I fly? You stop saying, I'm not ready, and you start saying, I'm growing into it. One of the most powerful things you can do is replace that inner critic with an inner coach, someone who believes in your potential, someone who calls you higher even when you feel low. And guess what? That person is also you. The same mind that can talk you down can be trained to lift you up. But it starts with awareness. It starts with noticing the lie, calling it what it is, and then choosing a better thought. This is why discipline matters. Because without it, the critic wins by default. Without it, your dreams get buried under doubt, your peace gets drowned in noise, and your purpose gets postponed. But when you discipline your mind, you start creating space between the thought and the truth. You start building the habit of courage. You stop letting fear sit in the driver's seat. You don't have to silence the critic. You just have to stop obeying it. Focus is a superpower. In a world that's constantly trying to pull you in every direction, the ability to lock in, to really zero in on what matters, is rare. But it's also everything. Because without focus, discipline has no direction. Without focus, your energy gets scattered, your time gets wasted, and your potential gets watered down. Focus isn't just about getting things done. It's about doing the right things with intention and clarity. Distraction is the enemy of purpose. And right now, distractions are more available than ever. Notifications, opinions, trends, temptations, they're all fighting for your attention. And if you don't protect that attention, if you don't set boundaries, then you'll spend your life reacting instead of creating, drifting instead of driving. You can't afford to give your mind to everything and expect to build something meaningful. You've got to choose. You've got to train your focus like it's sacred, because it is. People think multitasking is a strength, but really, it's a trap. Every time you switch gears, you lose momentum. Every time you split your attention, you weaken your impact. Focus means learning to say no, not just to distractions, but even to good things that aren't the right things for you. It means filtering out the noise so you can hear the signal. And the signal is always aligned with your purpose, your goals, your growth. When you focus, everything sharpens. Your thinking becomes clearer. Your actions become more effective. Your path becomes more obvious. That's not magic. That's discipline. That's the result of making conscious choices about where you direct your energy and attention. And it's not always easy. It takes effort. It takes saying, I don't need to check my phone right now. It takes carving out quiet time in a loud world. It takes knowing the difference between urgency and importance. But here's the beauty of focus. It compounds. The more you practice it, the more powerful it becomes. A focused hour is worth more than an entire distracted day. A focused year can change your life. Most people are busy, but not productive. They're active, but not aligned. You want your focus to be a laser, not a flashlight. Something that cuts through confusion and drives results. And let's be real, there are going to be moments when your focus slips. That's human. But when you're disciplined, you don't beat yourself up. You reset. You come back to center. You ask yourself, what really matters right now? That one question can change everything. Because when you get clear on that answer, the distractions start to lose their grip. You don't need more hours in the day. You need more intention in the ones you already have. Focus is the difference between noise and progress. Choose progress. Your future doesn't just happen. It's shaped moment by moment by the choices you make, especially the ones nobody sees. And at the center of all of it is your mind. The way you think, the way you speak to yourself, the way you respond to challenge and discomfort, that's the foundation of your life. That's why I'm telling you, discipline your mind, because your future depends on it. It's not a nice to have. It's not some motivational phrase, it's essential. You want to live with purpose? You want peace, clarity, success, fulfillment? That doesn't start with luck or talent or perfect timing. It starts with a mindset that's been trained to stay the course when things get hard. A mind that doesn't fold under pressure or get lost in fear. A mind that knows how to lead when emotions are high and circumstances are uncertain. That kind of mind doesn't come by accident. It comes from discipline. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you're shaping your future. Every time you quiet the noise and focus on what matters, you're building it. And it doesn't always feel like progress. Some days it feels like all you did was show up. But even showing up with discipline is an investment. It's momentum. It's proof that your future matters enough for you to fight for it, even in the small things. We live in a world that wants everything fast. Instant results, instant gratification, instant success. But anything that lasts, anything real, anything worth having is going to require something from you. And that something is discipline. Discipline is the price of a meaningful future. It's the proof that you're serious, that you're not just dreaming, you're doing. You want to lead. Discipline your mind. You want to heal. Discipline your mind. You want to build something that matters. You already know the answer. Because when your thoughts are clear, when your emotions are grounded, when your focus is aligned with your values, there's no limit to what you can create. You become steady, unshakable. And that version of you, the one who doesn't panic in storms, who doesn't fold under pressure, that version shows up strong for their future. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's worth it. And it starts now, not later. You don't need permission. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You've got what you need. It's already in you. But it has to be developed, strengthened, sharpened, and that happens through discipline. Every choice, every challenge, every setback, it's all an opportunity to train the mind to shape the future you say you want. Don't wait for life to force you to grow. Choose to grow. Choose to show up. Choose to lead your future instead of letting it lead you. Discipline your mind because the life you want is depending on it. So here's the truth. Everything we've talked about leads back to one simple, powerful idea. Your mind is the engine that drives your life. If you leave it undisciplined, you'll drift through your days reacting to everything around you. But if you take control, if you discipline it, you take back your power. You start choosing your thoughts, your actions, your direction. You become intentional, not impulsive, focused, not frantic, grounded, not easily shaken. Disciplining your mind isn't a one-time decision. It's a way of life. It's choosing growth when comfort calls. It's feeding your mind what builds you up. It's silencing the lies, sharpening your focus, and taking responsibility for your future. This is how you win. Not just in your goals, but in your peace, your purpose, your potential. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. One step at a time, one decision at a time. Because the more you discipline your mind, the more your life will reflect that strength. And when that happens, when your inner world is aligned and your mindset is clear, there's nothing you can't handle. Discipline your mind, and everything else will follow.